Outdoor English lesson. You can see that I'm outside. It is actually a little colder than I expected though. When I originally thought about doing this video, when I went outside to take a picture this morning for the thumbnail, the sun was shining. It was really, really nice out here. But since then, it has clouded over. In English, when we say it's clouded over, we have clouds that have now come across the sky. So it's a little cloudier than I expected, but hopefully this looks good for you. Let me just adjust something here. I'm going to set the white balance to cloudy so that things look a little nicer. Anyways, welcome to this lesson. Let me just double check to make sure it has clouded over. Everything is working. So yes, we're outside. Yes, it is a little chillier than I expected. You will hear birds. You will hear vehicles driving by on the road. You might even hear the odd Canada goose honking down by the river. But anyways, thank you for being here. Let's go over some of the rules for how this works. Please use the chat in order to have conversations with each other. Please do not ask questions in the chat. There will be a form that gets linked by Todd and Dave from time to time. Please use that form to ask your questions. We'll be here for about an hour. Towards the middle end of the lesson, I will turn the chat to members only, and then I will turn it back to chat for everyone towards the end. I see a lot of people saying hi in the chat. Hi to everyone. Thank you for being here in the great outdoors with me. Some of you are wondering if I'm allowed to be outside. Yes, out here in the country in Canada, even though we are supposed to stay at home, this is my home, so I'm allowed to be out here. Let me get to the first question though. If I talk too much, then I don't get through enough questions. So let's get started. The first question is from Deekshant. Deekshant says, many countries are under lockdown right now. Have you ever had a lockdown at your school? If not, do you ever have drills? Yes. So at our school, we have two kinds of drills. We have fire drills where we practice going outside in case there was a fire. So all the students and teachers go outside. And we also occasionally have lockdown drills where we need to kind of close the doors and be safe in our classrooms. So that's definitely a kind of drill that we do have, Deekshant, for sure. Vitaly has the next question. Vitaly says, hello, Teacher Bob. Hello, Vitaly. Let's see, how are you doing? No question today, just wanted to thank you. P.S. I wrote it before the lesson started that I hope you're sitting in a tractor. No, actually my tractors are over there. Maybe in a future episode, if the weather's bad, I'll do a live stream from inside my tractor. Next question is from Cindy, and it's a very common question. It is the pronunciation of word and world. So if you look in the chat, you can see people are typing and there are a lot of words in the chat. Okay, so thank you for typing your words there. People from all over the world are watching this live lesson. So when you write a word, and people live somewhere in the world. Word, world. Just a little bit tricky to say those two, isn't it? Next question is from Salih. Says, have you tried fasting? For example, I am fasting from 4:17 a.m. to 6:39 p.m. I invite everyone to try fasting if there are no health problems. So I have not tried fasting. Jen has suggested that we should try fasting at some point. Right now in North America, it's popular to do intermittent fasting, where you don't eat for a certain part of the day. And I understand also during Ramadan, people do not eat from sunrise until sunset. So I'll try it someday for sure. I will certainly try it someday. Next question, Nathan GR. Hi, Nathan. Hi, Teacher Bob, or hello, Teacher Bob. How can I use the word comprehensive? Could you give me an example, please? Thank you. If I made a 6-hour English lesson about a certain grammar concept, you would say that it is a comprehensive lesson. That would mean that in that huge lesson, I would talk about all the aspects of that grammar concept. So when something is comprehensive, it means that it covers everything or it talks about everything. Should I stop and let you listen to some of the birds? There's at least 3 different birds right now that I can hear. Okay, Gaga. as the next question. Hi Gaga, how are you doing? By the way, Gaga makes Vietnamese subtitles for my Tuesday videos. Thank you very much, Gaga, for doing that. Hi Teacher Bob, I noticed the flags in your class. Did you decorate it all? I saw the Vietnamese flag, love it so much. So when you watch some of my older live streams, I'm standing in front of a wall in my classroom and there are flags from all different parts of the world. That was a project that myself and some students did years ago. Actually, a different class did the initial bulletin board, we call it, and then I added to it later. So yes, I love having all those flags from all the different people in the world. There, I pronounced world again for you. Let's see here. Next question is from Valera. Skiba, hello dear Bob. Hello Valera. Can I say, so I would say it is a great house made of brick. I think that's what you're saying. So I have a house and the house is made of brick. And then the next question is, do you sell your harvest after picking in autumn? So yes, we sell the harvest from the fields in the fall or in the autumn. So the big field that I sometimes show you in my videos, we will grow a crop there this year. And in the fall, it will be harvested and we will sell it. Next question from Dennis Welker. Maybe Dennis watched the lesson on cars from last week, because Dennis's question, or Denny Welker says, hi Robert, do you know how much it costs to buy a V8 Ford Mustang in Canada? Well, it depends if it's new or used. A brand new one is probably about $40,000. I might be wrong. Sometimes I get my prices wrong. But a used one, if it is a classic car, would be a lot more expensive than that. I used to have a Mustang a long time ago, but not a sports model. I had just a regular Mustang with a small engine in it. Ruslan asked the question, let me get back there for a sec. Ruslan says, hello Teacher Bob. Could you tell some idioms that the Canadians use in everyday life? Thank you, best wishes from Russia. Not sure what went by, maybe a tractor or a sprayer. So yesterday I did the idiom to make ends meet and to have enough to get by. So I'll just talk about those quickly. When you make ends meet, or when you earn enough money to make ends meet, it means that you earn just enough money from your job to pay all your bills. So I'm not going to go over too many idioms right now because there's a lot, but there are good videos. I did 2 recent videos on idioms that you should watch, and I will be doing another video on idioms in a little while. Tuesday's video is going to be something a little bit special. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. It's a secret right now. We says, good morning, Teacher Bob. When the oven has the bake and broil function, what are they used for? So when you put on bake, the oven heats up to a certain temperature and you put things in the oven to bake them. When you put it on broil, only the top of the oven has heat. Okay, so the bottom of the oven is off and the top element in the oven has heat. So if you have something that where you, let's say you have a dish and you put cheese on it, you made lasagna, okay, and you put cheese on the top, you might put it in under the broiler and the broiler would melt the cheese from the top. So bake, the heat comes from all directions. Broil, it only comes from the top. Actually, in our oven, when we put it on bake, the heat only comes from the bottom. So I'm not a kitchen expert, but that is my understanding. Let me clean up the questions here for a sec. I am going to pause just to say thank you to all of you who are here, all 525 of you. If you're new, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below, and a thumbs up is always helpful as well. Let's keep the questions going though. Let's see here. Mia says, hello, Teacher Bob. It's good to see you. Is there any difference between the words dissatisfied and unsatisfied? And could you please give an example? Well, they would mean the same thing. So if you're just dissatisfied with the service, that would be meaning that you just did not enjoy the service that you got. Unsatisfied, though, I'm just going to check something for a sec. Because sometimes we use words Yeah, it simply means the same thing. It means that you are not satisfied. So I use dissatisfied a lot though. I don't use unsatisfied. Usually I would say this: were you happy with the service, or were you dissatisfied? Or were you happy with the service you received, or were you unsatisfied? Yeah, I guess I would say it. So, but yes, they mean the same thing. It means that you were not content. Let's see. Next question from Lolly. Lolly, bonjour Bob le Canadien. Thanks to you, because of you. Same meaning. Merci beaucoup. So thanks to you, because of you. So if I said, thanks to all of you, I have a very successful YouTube channel, I could also say, because of all of you, I have a very successful YouTube channel. By the way, thanks for subscribing, because that really makes me happy when that happens. Let's see here. Johan has the next question. An invite. Johan says, would you like to come to the Dominican Republic? I would love to travel more, but right now I'm not going to be going anywhere. Maybe in the future I will be able to travel a bit more with Jen. Right now there's two things that stop me from traveling. One is I have a job, and I have to make sure that I earn a living to support my family. And two, due to COVID-19, we're not allowed to go anywhere. So sometime in the future, we will, hopefully Jen and I will be able to travel more. Next question is from Han Turk. Let me get that pasted. Han Turk says, hello, Teacher Bob, how are you? I just want to know which one is better, teaching online or teaching at a school. Thank you, have a nice day. I like both, but I would like to be back at school. Teaching online is okay. I don't mind it. In some ways, it's easier than being at school, but in some ways, it's harder than being at school. So, yeah, I at this point, having taught at home for 6 or 7 weeks, I really hope that we can go back to school soon, for sure. It's just different, right? When you're at school, it's easier to talk to people and those kinds of things. Madi is the person with the next question. Madi from Canada. Hi, Madi. Hey, Bob, what do you think about shadowing? If I listen to the native language, and shadowing, is it perfect for pronunciation? So shadowing is a very helpful technique. For those of you that don't know, shadowing is when you listen to someone on a video and you listen to them say a sentence, and then you pause the video and then you say exactly what they said right after they say it. It can be really good to learn new vocabulary, to practice your pronunciation, and to just kind of get into speaking English out loud. So I think it's very worthwhile. Shadowing is a very worthwhile technique, but it can't replace talking to an actual native English speaker. That is the ultimate way to learn English, is to talk to a native English speaker. Let's see here. Next question is from Sam. Sam says, Teacher Bob, it's Sam from Taiwan. Hi, Sam. I heard from the news almost 80% of people, so I added an of there, 80% of people in the US don't have savings, so they are in trouble during the pandemic. How about people in Canada? You know, Canadians and Americans have a lot of similarities, and one is how we save money and how we spend money. Yeah, I'm not sure. The cat's gone now, but there was a cat sitting there. Wait, is the cat still there? That's Leo, by the way. Canadians and Americans do not have enough savings, okay? It's not something that is unique to the United States. In Canada, we have the same problem. People have good jobs and they like to spend their money and have fun, and they don't necessarily save a lot. Elias Gomez, thank you so much for the super chat. Hello, Professor Roberto. Are you all right? The last 2 Saturdays I worked, but today I'm here to accompany you. Excellent Saturday. Well, thanks. Good to see you here, Elias. It's awesome that you are here. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the cat. There will be Oscar's around somewhere, but last time he was here, he jumped on the table when I was setting up this morning. So I was like, Oscar, no. And then I think now he's sad, maybe somewhere, but maybe he'll come later. We'll see. Let's see here. Lily from Vietnam has the next question. Lily says, what is the difference between do you need to go so soon and do you have to go so soon? So the first one you would actually ask as a question. You would say, why do you need to go so soon? Okay. The second one you could use exactly that way. You could say, do you have to go so soon? So if someone was visiting me, I could say, and they were going to leave, I could say, oh, why do you need to go so soon? Let me make sure I read that right. Why do you need to go so soon? Yes, perfect. Or I could say, do you have to go so soon? Both would be completely correct. But the first one I would change slightly. Let's see here. Next question. Mary, the Iranian. Hi, dear teacher. I hope you are doing well. I have a question about temptation. How can we deal with temptation better, in your opinion? Thanks. So when you are tempted, it means that you feel a want or a desire to do something that you shouldn't do. For me, the best way to avoid temptation is to just stay busy doing things that are good. So the more you work, the more I make YouTube videos, the more I do good things, the less I am tempted to do bad things. But that's the only advice I can give Mary at this point. That is certainly a tricky question. Let's see here. Chico has the next question. I'm just reading it over for a sec because it's a little bit of a challenge for me to quite... Okay, Chico says, hi Bob, what is the difference between previous and passing and coming and next and following? All I can do is use them in a sentence. I could say, in the previous video, I talked about different brand names. So in yesterday's video, so the previous video is the day before. So the next question is passing, or the next word is passing. I could say that sometimes when I'm driving behind someone who's going slow, I feel like passing them. Now the word passing has many meanings, so that's just one example. Normally on a Saturday, I might have a friend coming over, okay? But today, of course, I won't. And then let me just check the next one. Next, so in the next video, it's going to be a bit of a surprise. I'm not going to tell you what it is. And then you are following me on Instagram or following me on YouTube. Hopefully that made some sense. I'm not 100% sure, but there you go. Let me get to the next question. Next question is from Bruna. Sorry, I'm pausing to read the questions a little bit before I paste them. Bruna Lima says, hey Bob, I have problems with speaking most of the time because the words just fade from my mind. Do you have any advice for me? When you learn a word, you need to use that word as many times as possible in the day or two after you learn it, okay? So again, one of the best ways to do that is to have an English conversation with someone. But if you learn the word cup, you should then use that word as many times as you can, you know, by speaking the word, writing the word, reading about the word. You just really need to continue to use that word. That's what makes it stick in your brain. Hey, I'm gonna just pause just to say it looks like we had a bit of an influx of new viewers just now. There are a lot of questions in the chat. Please use the form to ask your questions. That just works a lot better. And I do see you in the chat saying hi, and I do like it. So I do say hi to Lamb and to everyone else who's in the chat. But please ask your questions using the form. And I do apologize because I usually don't get to all the questions. But hearing someone else's question is also very good for your English. So Bear Wilson, a longtime viewer, Bear Wilson, thanks a lot, teacher, for your wonderful job. You are very welcome. And thank you, sir, for the super chat. That is awesome. Let's go to the next question from Irina. Let me get that posted over here. Irina from Ukraine says, hi, Bob. What is the difference between we don't care and not that we meant to care? Thanks in advance. So the second sentence I would not use. I would say we don't care simply means that you don't care. But the second sentence, let me see if there's a different sentence that you might have been trying to say. You could say not that we care, you know, we don't care or not that we care. But the second sentence, when you say not that we meant to care, I can't think of an example of when I would use those words in that order. So let me get the questions cleaned up. It's not as cold as I thought out here now that I got things going. So Alexei from Russia, hello dear teacher, and thank you so much. What is the difference between too and so? Too many versus so many. Too much versus so much. Too plus an adjective versus so plus an adjective. So if I drink too much tea, it means that I'm being very specific. I would say yesterday I drank too much tea. If I say to my kids, you shouldn't drink so much tea, it's kind of a more broader statement saying that you guys are drinking tea too often and you're drinking too much. When I use the next one, let me see here. Too many versus so many. There are too many birds in the tree right now. When I do live lessons outside, sometimes there are so many birds, it gets a little bit loud. So there's some example sentences for you. Hopefully that can help you quite a bit. Let's see here. Next question is from Jesse, the Canadian. The question from Jesse is, hi Bob the Canadian, my question is, what is the difference between advice and advise? So I can give you advice, and when I give you advice, I am advising you, okay? So a slight difference there. There's also a slight difference in how those words are used in different English-speaking countries. But I would just say this, if you need some advice, my advice is you should keep studying English. I often advise, that's with the S, I often advise people to keep studying English. Let me find the next question here from Pavel. And his question is, Pavel says, hello, is there any difference between I got something and I've got something when we need to use them? So I got something that you can use, I've got something that you can use. They are the same. You can use those the same. So if someone said, oh, I need a special tool to do this, I could say, oh, I've got something that you can use. Or I could say, I got something that you can use. The second one is probably less correct, to say I got something, but it's definitely used in English for sure. Let's see here. Next question is from Layla from Morocco. Hi teacher Bob, how have you been? I wish Ramadan Mubarak to everyone here. Sometimes I hear people saying oh my gosh or what the hell, what's their meaning? So those are both expressions that are considered. The second one is definitely a swear word if you use the word hell, but oh my gosh is a shorter version of a swear word using the word God, okay? So they are just expressions that people say if they are someone who likes to use those expressions. I personally don't swear, so I don't use expressions like that ever, or I try not to ever. Sometimes there's always this example. Sometimes when you are using a hammer and you accidentally hit your thumb, sometimes a bad word comes out of your mouth. So sometimes that happens to me too. But normally in everyday life, I do not use bad words and I do not swear. Ferris from Toronto. So Ferris the Torontonian. Hi teacher Bob. Hi Ferris. Could you explain the difference between impact and influence? Thank you in advance. So when you put, let me put it this way. When I teach all of you English, I have an impact on you, okay? So hopefully when you listen to me speaking English, it has an impact. That means that it helps you, or it changes you a bit, or it helps you to learn something. I could also say that I have an influence over you, or I influence you. An impact and an influence in that situation can mean, I think, exactly the same thing. Although those words do have a lot more meanings, so you should definitely look them up for sure. Olga says, hi Bob, can you tell me advice how I can prepare for an exam? It is too much to learn and I have no motivation. Well, first of all, you need to find a way to get motivated, and hopefully hopefully the exam is in the future. My number one piece of advice for people who are studying for a test is to start studying early. If you have a test on May 31st, you should be studying now for it, okay? If you have a test on Tuesday, you should be studying now for it. Don't study the night before. Don't pull what we call an all-nighter. An all-nighter is when someone stays up all night studying for something or working on a school project. So the number one thing, if you're not motivated, I don't really know how to help you, but certainly make a plan and get studying because you want to do well, for sure. For me, when I know I have a test coming up, I know that I spent money on it and I don't want to waste the money. So that makes me study a lot. Next question from Abel. Abel says, "Hi Bob, Abel from Texas. No question today, just want to say thank you. You are a great teacher." Thank you very much. For sure, that is nice. So I do still see some questions in the chat. So if you're new here, please use the link to the form to ask the questions. But thank you very much for being here, all of you. If you are new here, don't forget to click the subscribe button. I love it when people subscribe to my channel. It's very helpful, and a thumbs up on the video is awesome as well. And I do want to pause to say thank you. You see all of the people with their names in green in the chat. Those are my supporters who have clicked the join button, wherever that is, and decided to support my channel. So thank you very much to all of the people in the chat whose name is in green. We will do members only chat in just a little bit. I will turn that on in about 10 or 15 minutes, but let me keep moving along with the questions. Let's see here. I think the question here is, "Hello sir, can I ask you something? What's the difference between trust," and I think it's believe that you're asking about, and how to use it. So when you trust someone, it means that, so I trust Jen. Jen and I have been married for over 20 years. We trust each other. That means that we don't lie to each other. When Jen says something, I believe her, okay? So I used both words there. When you trust someone, that just means that in general, whenever they say something, you know that you can trust them, and you know that you can believe them. Azot, the police are not coming. Okay, I'm just looking at the chat. Azot is using an example of a swear word and also says the police are coming. I'm pretty sure the police aren't coming. I'm trying to drink carefully today without slurping because yesterday I slurped and people don't like it when I slurp. So I'm trying really hard not to slurp. Next question. Let me see, can you give me an example? Manati says, "Hi Bob, hope you're doing well." I am very, I would say, hyper today. I'm happy that I am outside. It's really fun to be outside in the outdoors doing a live stream again. By the way, for those of you that don't know, I normally do my Saturday live stream outside in the late spring, summer, and fall. When the weather's nice, we will be outside. So now I forgot the question. Let's see here. Could you please give me an example of for down pat? Thanks. So when you know something really well, you have it down pat. Okay, so I know how to fry an egg. I have it down pat. I have been frying an egg for breakfast since I was about 12 years old. Sometimes I boil the eggs, but I have frying an egg down pat. That means I can make a sunny side up egg, I can make a scrambled egg, I can make a flat egg, I can make an egg over easy. Any kind of egg you want. I'm not very good at poaching eggs though. Let's see here. Slurp away. It makes me thirsty. Thanks, Brent. So Brent learned American English with this guy said I can slurp away, but I'm gonna try not to. Let's see here. Next question. Delisa, for better pronunciation and to expand vocabulary, can you give us a recommendation? So for better pronunciation, two things. One is sometimes it's just a matter of getting all of the muscles that you need to use trained. So just speaking out loud a lot can help your pronunciation. So talk out loud a lot. Talk out loud to yourself. Talk to yourself in the mirror. All of those things are helpful. And also, if you can afford it, hire someone who you can have an English conversation with. It's tricky because not everyone has the money, but you should do that. Also, the second one, I still think reading is the best way to expand your vocabulary. So read the news, read books, read articles on Wikipedia on the internet. In another video I mentioned there's a web page called Simple Wikipedia, which has English articles on Wikipedia, but a little bit simpler. So try that one for sure. Let's see. Yeah, sorry to pause there for a sec. I'm just trying to keep pace. There are a lot of questions, but I think I might be able to get through all of them today if I keep going fast. Let me see. Ario, hola, Mr. Bob. What's the difference between help and help out? Thank you. Oh yes, where's Oscar? Oscar! You know, I think they might have let him in the house, because I don't see him anywhere. So sorry about that. I can help you learn English. I can help out if you want to learn English. So they both mean to help. But if Jen was doing a job on the farm, I could walk up and say, hey, can I help? Or I could say, hey, could I help out? In that sentence, it would mean the same thing. That was me whistling, by the way. That's your first, it's the first time I've whistled in a live stream, so I'm not going to whistle anymore. Let's see here. Hader says, hi Bob, how's it going? Would you kindly explain the difference between lay and lie? Thanks in advance. So, strictly speaking, according to the rules, you lay, sorry, I have to make sure I get this right, because we say it wrong. So when I want to have a nap, I lie down in the bed. So let's see here. Lay means to place something down flat, while lie means to be in a flat position. The key difference is that lay is transitive and requires an object, and lie is intransitive. So first of all, as English speakers, we mix these up all the time. Sometimes I lay down, sometimes I lie down when I want to have a nap. But strictly speaking, if I have a pen, I can lay the pen on the table. But if I want to have a nap, I would lie down on the couch. So that's the difference. Again, you will hear native English speakers messing it up all the time. This is my favorite, what I just pasted in, my favorite question today. Someone named Hi said hi. So hello, how are you? Let's see here. Next question is from Abdulaziz. Hello, Teacher Bob. I have good listening, so your listening skills are awesome. Good. But how do I improve speaking? Are films useful with subtitles? So no, speaking is always something that you need to actively do, whether you are just talking out loud or whether you are shadowing someone, or whether you are having an English conversation. You do need to speak. Words need to come out of your mouth in order to practice speaking. So do those three things. 1, read out loud, okay? So that's just a good way to practice your pronunciation and your speaking. 2, do some shadowing, watch a YouTube video, pause, repeat what the person has said. And 3, you have to find a native English speaker to talk to. I know, like I said before, reading, writing, listening, building vocabulary, learning grammar, you can do all that online. But when it comes to speaking, at some point, you really need to find an English speaker that you can have regular conversations with. Next question from Kismo. Hi, Teacher Bob. Hi, Kismo. How are you? I'm very confused with phrasal verbs. Do you have any idea how to remember phrasal verbs without mixing them up? Thanks. You just need to use them a lot. By the way, I have 3 videos where I act out phrasal verbs. If you search for Bob the Canadian phrasal verbs on YouTube, you'll find them. What I did in those videos is I tried to act out the phrasal verb to make it easier to remember. But certainly you just need to listen to and hear them a lot, and then use them as much as you possibly can. Natalia has the next question. Natalia says, if you're bumming off your friends, what does it mean? So the correct term is bumming around. So I could say, oh, my son went to town last week with some of his friends and they were just bumming around. It means that they weren't really doing anything. They were just kind of standing around outside a store talking. So when you're bumming around, you're not doing anything productive. You're just kind of standing around talking to each other, doing whatever. Sometimes a few teachers and I, when we had school, would just stay after school for a bit and sit and talk. We were just kind of bumming around. We were just kind of hanging out for a little bit before we went home from work. So bumming around means, bumming off is American. It means to borrow. That's what Learn American English with this guy says. Oh, I see what you mean, bumming off. So you can bum something off someone. Yeah, maybe that's what you're talking about. Thanks, Brent. That's a good point. So let's say I was a smoker. I'm not a smoker, but let's say I smoked cigarettes and I didn't have any. I could bum a cigarette off of a friend. Basically, that means I am borrowing or asking for a cigarette. So yes, definitely, that's another meaning of that phrase. Mansoor says, hi, my beloved Inspire. Hi, Mansoor. What is the best way to remember words? Use them as much as you possibly can. Just use them, use them, use them. That is the best way, especially in that day or two after you learn it. Just use the word as much as possible. Let me just check something here. We are going to flip the chat on the live stream for a moment. We are going to switch to members only for about 10 minutes or so, maybe 15. So you'll see that the chat right now, it says members only mode is on. So thank you to all of the people whose name is in green. Thank you for clicking that join button and supporting my channel. If you want to ask questions directly in the chat right now, I will answer them. Teacher Bob, someone left the barn on tiptoe behind you about 10 minutes ago. Oh yeah, did you see somebody walk by? My son is out here actually shooting some video of me doing this live stream because for Wednesday's members only video, I'm going to talk about what I do to make videos. So you'll see some of that footage later. Learn American English with this guy. I have never bummed a cigarette from anyone. Nasty habit. Yes, I would definitely agree. So for those of you who are still here, who are not members, I do keep answering questions, so I will keep pasting them. Gleb says, hello, Teacher Bob. How are you doing? Could you say any famous Canadian brand names or trademarks? You didn't mention about it yesterday. So I don't know a lot of Canadian brands. I know we have Tim Hortons. That is one of our brands. I think Shoppers Drug Mart is another one of our brands. I think Canada Goose is a clothing manufacturer that makes coats. And I know we have a company called Roots as well. Hey, someone wanted to know if they saw someone tiptoe past. Do you want to say hi? You can say hi if you want. It's up to you. Let me get to the next question here. I'm getting a little behind. Sorry, I was talking to my son. So my son was in a live stream once before. This is my son, Lucas. So you can say hi to him if you want. He is out here with his camera. Just sounds kind of funny. I'm doing a live stream on this camera. He's making a little video of me making this live stream. So anyways, thanks for stopping in and thanks for shooting some video. So that's who tiptoed past, if you're wondering. I'm behind on the questions now though. Let's see here. Canadian brands, I did that one. And then Peachacorn says, hi Bob, I'm Lita from Thailand. Thank you so much. You are welcome. Learn American English. Thought there was paparazzi behind me. No, it's just my son. Sam says, hi Teacher Bob. Some learners here ask the same question, but you are never impatient. I just want to thank you for your patience. By the way, the top one question is always, how do I improve my English? Yes, I just try to be patient because I know that a few hundred people are regulars and I know other people are just stopping in. So I'm just try to be as patient as I can. Han Turk says, we are two sisters watching Bob the Teacher. We always try to make a guess what the teacher drinks. It's almost always tea with honey. And on this day, it's nice to have because it's a little cold out here. Let me see here. Brent, a pack of cigarettes in the army is 19 Duvio. Oh, do you have a cigarette? Is 19. Do you have a cigarette? Let's smoke. Canadian Tire. Yes, thanks, Brent. That's another one. So learn American English with this guy. Canadian Tire is another Canadian brand. Delisa, the live chat is always Saturday at 11 a.m. Yes, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when the live chat is. Lolly says, hi son, how are you? Hi Lucas, hi Lucas. He's gone now, but thanks for saying hi. Vitaly says, are you trying to peer pressure me? Only if we share it in your Lada. Yes. So I forgot to mention any Russian brands yesterday. I will fix that during the next one. Let's see. I hope you'll post the video. He shoots. I will. How long will you drive to Niagara Falls? So to get to Niagara Falls from my house is about 45 minutes, Jingjin. Gleb says, I know only Cirque du Soleil. So Cirque du Soleil is it's like an act in Las Vegas and in Quebec, and it's a very cool thing to watch, and they travel as well. Let's see here. Air Canada. Yes, that's another Canadian brand for sure. Teacher Bob, you used the word with in the end of a sentence. Could you explain when do we use this word correctly? So you are not supposed to use prepositions at the end of sentences. So you should not end a sentence with of or with or any of the other ones, but we do all the time. Sometimes when I go to town, I take one of my kids with. So we're not supposed to, but we do use that sometime. Let's see here. Vitaly, have you warmed up? No, Vitaly, it is freezing out here, but I feel like I only have about 20 minutes left, and I'm Canadian. There's ice in my veins. That's what we say. When you are from a northern climate and you don't mind being cold, we say that there is ice in our veins. Let's see here. I know Cirque du Soleil to use the word with at the end of a sentence. Have you warmed up? What kinds of flowers are in Jen's garden? So right now, Jen is planting Lisianthus, zinnias, and a few other things that can handle some of the cold. Jingjin, thank you so much for the super chat. That is awesome of you. Vitaly says carbon. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who makes this. It was a nice sweatshirt. I bought it like probably 3 years ago. If you go back through my videos, you'll see I wear this a lot when I'm cold. Panthera Nori, are there UFOs above Canada? Hope not. I hope there aren't any. We'll see. Let's see. Sorry, I'm getting tired at the end of the week. I don't think there are UFOs, although where I live, it is very, very dark at night because I am far from the city. So sometimes when you go out at night, you can definitely see the stars really, really well. But I have not seen any UFOs. Let me get the next question, folks. Margarita from Ukraine says, hi, Teacher Bob. Is there any difference between the words answer and response? Thank you. So I need an answer. I need a response. So if I ask you a question, I would need you to give me an answer. I would need you to give me a response. Okay, so they can mean the same thing. Let's see here. Dear teacher, Julia Olis says, dear teacher, I want to ask about the words basically, actually, literally. These words always confuse me. They are kind of just filler words sometimes, okay? So if I was to say to you, basically, they're just filler words. Actually, they're just filler words. They're just literally filler words. So they're words we say kind of just to expand the sentence a bit. The word literally, though, usually means that you are talking about an actual truth, okay? So if I was to say, it's literally 12 degrees out here, that means it's 12 degrees. You heard me almost say actually as well. It's actually 12 degrees. So there are a couple of variations of how we say it, but basically, I think they're words that just come out of our mouth by accident. I think I'm using them while I'm explaining it. Panthera says the UFO stayed at home. Elias says, why you don't answer my question? I sent 2 times. I'm not sure, Elias. I haven't seen your question yet. Let me scroll through and see if I can find it. It might be near the bottom. Let me find it. The question queue fills up really fast, Elias. Elias says, do you prefer to broadcast live outside or inside the house? Oh, I really like to do it outside. It's just a nicer time for me when it's a bit warmer, that's for sure. Let me see if I can find your other question, Elias. I don't see the other one. Maybe I'll find it later, but I certainly found one of them. So sorry about that. The list of questions gets really full, so it's hard to answer all of them. And let's see here. Daniel says Maple Leaf is a Canadian brand. Yeah, you know, almost every Canadian brand probably has a maple leaf on it somewhere. I don't on my channel. I probably should. And let's see. Alex says, hi Teacher Bob, do you happen to know any advanced English learning groups? I find it's very useful to have English partners to talk with, but it's pretty hard to find a suitable one. I don't. The only thing I know is that at a certain point, it's hard to find things for free, and at that point sometimes it's better just to pay for a service or a class. The best free English conversation classes are usually in person in your city, so maybe see if your city actually has an English conversation group that you can join. Let's see, Vitaly says, Elias, you're cheating. No, that's not cheating. I don't mind pulling the questions out. Jingjin says, it will take me 1 hour and 40 minutes from my house to drive to Niagara Falls. Yeah, and that's probably all on the highway. For me, it's a lot closer. By the way, I am going to make a video in Niagara Falls someday, but I have to wait for us to be allowed to go to places like that. Hi teacher, I heard you said certainly. Yeah, I do certainly say that word. So there you go. And Gonzalo, hi Mr. Bob, what does it mean for good? Does that mean forever? Yes. So if I was someone who smoked and said, I'm going to quit for good, it means that I'm going to quit forever. Okay, that's it. I'm done. So, by the way, if you don't know this, I did smoke a long time ago when I was younger. I was a smoker. It's not a good thing to do. It's really, really bad for your lungs. Let's see here. Julia says, thank you very much, no problem. Hello Talk is a great app for finding language partners. Unfortunately, there are way more English learners than native English speakers. Yeah, so Hello Talk is good. The ones that do cost money are Cambly and italki and Preply. I do find though that you have to be really careful that you find an actual native English speaker. When I was looking for native French speakers to talk to, some of the people weren't necessarily native French speakers. They said they were, but I'm not sure they were. Let's see here. Oh, thanks Brent, by the way. Hanturk says, teacher, when we meet another person, what could be a sincere way to ask, what is your name? This sounds a bit formal to me. So usually people tell you their name, or the person introducing you tells you their name. But so here's how a conversation would normally go. If I met a friend and someone new, my friend would say, hi Bob, this is my friend Joe. And I would say, hi Joe, nice to meet you. But if a few minutes later I couldn't remember their name, I would say, I'm sorry, what's your name again? Or I would say, I'm sorry, I forgot your name already. What's your name again? That would be the best way to ask someone their name. Usually though, when you meet someone tells you their name, or they introduce themselves and give you their name. So that's Hanter. Young Kern says, could you explain the word absolutely, exactly, definitely, indeed, and certainly, and what the differences are? That's a lot to explain right now really quickly, but I can absolutely explain to you how to do that. That means that I can totally do it. I can absolutely explain how to do that, and I will tell you exactly how to use each word. So when you do something exactly, it's very precise. Like this is exactly how you use it, and I will definitely explain it to you. So absolutely and definitely are very similar. And I could also introduce the sentence by saying, indeed, I could explain that to you, or I could certainly explain it to you. They're all words that assure someone that you will do what they are asking you to do. By the way, that's just a quick explanation. I'm sure there's a longer video on YouTube somewhere, Jung, that can help you understand how to use those. Rachel Ting says, smoking is not good. It's not good. It makes you sick. It's bad for your lungs. If you're a smoker, I hope that you find the motivation to quit someday. And Alex says, thank you very much. Let me see here. Vitaly Smirnov says, don't ask pronunciation questions. You can be blocked. Actually, I don't mind pronunciation questions. It's the grammar questions that take too long to explain, and I'm always worried I'm going to say something wrong when I'm explaining grammar, but pronunciation questions are okay. I don't mind those. Let's see here. Next question from the big list is from Victor from Panama. Hi, Teacher Bob. Is it always cloudy in Canada? When is summertime there? So this morning it was sunny, and now it's cloudy. Yesterday it was sunny when I went for my walk, but usually in the spring it's kind of a mix of sun and clouds. That's actually what the weather forecast is for today. It said that there would be a mix of sun and clouds. Gleb says all smokers have to give it up. Yeah, the problem is it's addictive, right? That's the problem. When I was a smoker, I was very much addicted to nicotine. That is what you have in cigarettes. So let's see here. Elias Gomez, why am I cheating? Just asked a question. Isn't the space to ask questions? You're not cheating, Elias. You're doing everything properly. Don't worry about it. I think they were saying because you asked me about the question. Oh, Oscar's out here. Oscar, come here, pup. No, this side, this side. Come here, pup. Come here, come here, come here, come here. So here's Oscar. Oscar, hey, look right here. Oh, I forgot that dogs don't understand English either. So Jen's outside, so Oscar came and said hi, and now he ran away. So that's your one little glimpse of Oscar today. So Elias, no, you're not cheating. You're doing everything right. Brent from Learn American English with This Guy says, grammar is hard to discuss on the fly. Yeah, so it's easy to give examples. It's easy to help with small things, but grammar is really hard to teach on the fly, for sure. Let's see here. Oscar, yes, there's Oscar. Yeah, very quick. He was kind of in and out very quickly, wasn't he? Let me go and get the next question here. Let's see. Question is from Lila. Hi again, teacher. I'm wondering, are Jen and your children watching your live streams? How do you punish your children? So that's a good question. I will answer it. So my kids and Jen, a long time ago, I think, used to watch the live streams a little bit, especially the Friday morning live stream, but they don't anymore. It's not as interesting. And then the second part, how do you punish your children? Very easily. Our kids really like having access to the internet. They really like having access to the Wi-Fi, and if they don't do what we think they should be doing, if they don't clean their rooms, if they don't help do chores, then we don't let them use the internet. It is probably one of the easiest ways to discipline children in our current era, in our current age, is you just say, look, if you don't clean your room, you can't use the internet this afternoon to play your games. So that works. It works really, really well. Let me get back to, let me just do the little switcheroo here, and I'll click save there. So we should have full chat coming back on. Thanks again to all of you who are members. Thanks for clicking that join button wherever it is, and helping to support me and Jen as we do this YouTube thing. I know you don't see Jen as much, but she is very helpful to me and to you to making sure that this happens. So thank you again to all of you who have your names in green. Some of you have the 2 or 3 month crown beside your name now. That's really cool. I know for sure Lolly, I think, has her 3 month crown. I don't know if you noticed that in the chat, but there are different crowns that you get to have beside your name. But anyways, thank you so much for being members. Let's see here. The Bread of Life has the next question. Hi Bob, could you tell me how to pronounce grocery sometime? I hear grocery. So every week Jen and I go to the grocery store. We go to the grocery store. Groceries. I need to get groceries. Yeah, we do shush it a little bit. We do sometimes say that, like, where are all the groceries that you bought? But the proper way to say it is groceries. Where are all the groceries? We went to the grocery store. I have to get something from the grocery store. So you might hear a little shush to it at some point, but normally we do not add that sound to that word. Next question. Let me just clean up the questions a bit here. By the way, I do skip questions sometimes. So if I don't answer your question, it might have just been too hard to explain quickly. But sometimes the question is just too hard for me to explain in a quick and concise way. Let's see here. Nathan Macedo from Brazil says, hi Bob, very cool your live lesson what's your region, or where are you from? It's so beautiful. I'm learning English to try to move to Canada with my family. I am in what's called the southern part of Ontario, Canada. The province is Ontario. I live close to Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls is about a 45-minute drive that way, 45 minutes. And the biggest city to me is that way, and it's the city of Hamilton. So that's where I live. It's one of the warmer parts of Canada. We do still have a good winter, a good solid cold winter, for sure. Let me see here. Next question is from Abel. Hello, Bob. Great day today. My question is, what is the difference between lay, put, and set? So I wouldn't necessarily lay down this cup. Like, if I lay the cup down, it means I'm putting it on its side, but I can put down this cup and I can set down this cup. So using those verbs, those two mean the same thing. You can put something down or you can set something down. I see the question in the chat about whether I teach French on YouTube. From Herman. No, I don't teach French on YouTube. Basically, c'est trop difficile pour moi, parce que moi, je parle anglais. Et pour moi, français, c'est un peu difficile. For me, I speak English perfectly because I am a native speaker. But when I speak French, I still make mistakes. In fact, last time I spoke French in a live stream, I think I said où sont mes lunettes or something like that, and I said ils sont ici, but I should have said elles sont ici. So I have little problems with when something's masculine or feminine. Someday, maybe I will do some French in YouTube. We'll see. No promises. I think it's better to learn a language from if you can, it's best to learn a language from a native English speaker, and I am not a native French speaker. It is a learned language. It is a language that j'ai appris. It's a language that I learned. Next question is about flowers again. Hi Bob, what kinds of flowers in your garden? So right now, the early flowers are things like daffodils and tulips. The flowers we are planting are the ones that can handle a little bit of cold. So things like lisianthus, etc. If Jen was here, I would ask her to bring some over to show you. We don't have flowers, but we have baby plants, the little tiny plants. Let's see, next question is from Robert. Or Robert, depending on where you live. Hi Bob, how do you do? How have you spent time today? Did you do some homework on your farm? Greetings from me and my wife. So I got up, I had breakfast, I came outside, I took a picture for the live stream, and then I just set up with my son, I set up the table and the camera, and basically I just took it easy until 11 a.m. and then I started the live stream. Andre in the chat is saying, what is your time zone? I'm in the Eastern Standard Time Zone. So right now it is 11:56 a.m. on a Saturday. So the next question is from Marnia. Hi Bob, could you please explain it couldn't be and to rat out a cheat? So if you say it couldn't be, it means that you don't believe something. If someone says, today is Saturday, you could say, it couldn't be Saturday today. It feels like a Friday, but it is Saturday. And then what's the next one? To rat out a cheat. When you rat someone out, it means they're doing something, maybe they don't want someone to know, and you tell someone. So if my son was stealing cookies, I could, and one of my other kids told me about it, I could say that my one kid ratted out my other kid. So they basically told me that. Just let me check something here in the chat. Yes, I'm gonna just scroll back. I'm just wondering never mind. Sometimes I know what I'm doing and sometimes I forget what I'm doing. Nori has the next question. And let me get that pasted up here. Nori says, hi Teacher Bob. Can simply the word learn mean the same as come to know? Are they interchangeable? Thank you. Have a great weekend. When you come to know something, it just means that you find out about it. You could say that in the future. No, let me just think about this. If you come to know, so let's say my son stole cookies, and then I might come to know about it when my daughter tells me. So it's not a super well-used construct, come to know, but it simply means that you you find out about something. You could use the word learn in the same situation, but learn has a couple different meanings, so I have to be careful. Constantine has the next question. Hi Bob, what is the temperature in your area today? So right now, I forget, when I came outside, it was, I think, 11 or 12 degrees Celsius. Right now it is 13 degrees Celsius, and it is supposed to be a high of 18 today, but I'm not sure we're going to get there. It feels it feels a little bit cooler than that. I think if the sun was out, it would be a little bit warmer. Fabio from Italy. Hi Bob, I'd like to know what as a matter of fact means and how I can use it. Thanks. So you use as a matter of fact to introduce something that is true. So I could say, in the last question, it was like, hi Bob, what is the temperature in your area today? I could say, well, as a matter of fact, it is 13 degrees here today. Because I know for sure, I just checked what the temperature was. I could state that as a fact. So I could say, well, as a matter of fact, it's 13 degrees today. So it's simply a way to introduce a fact or something that you know. I'm not going to be able to answer this question. So Kwangvinj says, hi Bob, how to read ending sounds ED like native English, please. So you just need to practice listening and pronouncing the different words properly. Because yesterday, if I say yesterday, I looked outside, you can hear the ED sound. But let me try to think of another example. The movie ended. So you can see how the ED sound has a few pronunciations. So you just really need to listen and repeat and memorize how to pronounce each of them. It's really tricky. It's not very fun. So that's a feed truck, by the way. So if you're wondering, most of the trucks going by today, if you are watching in the background, are hauling products that farmers need, either feed for animals or seed or fertilizer, because we are getting close to planting time here. If it dries up a little bit in the next week or two, people will start to plant crops in the field. Hey folks, this is the end. Sorry about that. I do want to mention that if you didn't watch the video from this past Tuesday, there will be a link in the chat that will link to that. And if you did not watch it, it was a fun video. It was on how to use YouTube to learn English. If you want to help support my channel, I strongly encourage you to consider becoming a member. You don't have to be a member forever. If you think I would like to buy Bob the Canadian a coffee, become a member for a month and then cancel. That's fine with me. But if you would like to support me, there's a link there as well. And for sure, if you, I can't spell this word, subscribe. If you are not a subscriber, please consider clicking the red subscribe button below. Thank you so much. Oh, thumbs up as well. Share the video. What else do YouTubers say? Like, comment, share. Do all that stuff if you want to. Anyways, this was fun. I'm super happy to be outside again. Hopefully the weather warms up next week. I will do these inside when it's raining, but I will do them outside when the weather is nice. So it was nice to see all of you. Thank you very much. Elias says, I give up. What are you giving up on, Elias? I'm not sure. Did I miss a question from you? I might have. Just ask it right now and I'll answer it right away. Anyways, thanks so much for being here. I'm sorry that I didn't get through all the questions. I wonder if I should have a separate link for members to ask questions. I'll think about that in the future. But anyways, thanks for being here. Thanks for everything that you do. And let me see if I can, I'm clicking all the wrong buttons again. There's the right button.